Number 10. 2023 Toyota Sequoia. Once more bigger, more competent and preferable prepared over any other time, the upgraded Toyota Sequoia is a cutthroat standard-size SUV. A tight third line and scarcely any choices leave it powerless against the opposition, however it's lied a long time in front of its ancestor concerning execution, solace, and innovation. The Toyota Sequoia is a 7-seater vehicle that comes in 5 trim levels. The most well-known style is the restricted all-wheel drive, what begins at $69,360. Furthermore, accompanies a half-breed 3.5-liter V6 twin-supermotor and all-wheel drive. Subsequent to mulling for quite a long time without an update, the Toyota Sequoia is all new this year. The inside is more extensive and refined, while the outside establishes a strong first connection. The standard V8 is gone, yet in its place is another twin-turbocharged mixture V6 with more power and force. The extensive inside offers a lot of space for individuals and their freight, in spite of the fact that Toyota stayed with a strong back hub plan that limits traveler space in the third line. The innovation inside got a significant update too, with a discretionary 14-inch touchscreen and full similarity with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's been over 10 years since the past age of the Sequoia was presented, making this new third era essentially better from its powertrain and taking care of to its elements and innovations. Number 9. Hyundai Palisade. The Hyundai Palisade checks every one of the containers expected of 3-line SUVs. It's not difficult to drive, roomy, agreeable, and has the entirety of the most recent innovation. It additionally is estimated lower than certain opponents and accompanies the business most liberal guarantee. The Hyundai Palisade is a 7-seater vehicle that comes in 5 trim levels. The most famous style is the Calligraphy AWD, what begins at $52,735 and accompanies a 3.8-liter V6 motor and all-wheel drive. The Hyundai Palisade is truly outstanding in this class, and the current year's progressions and augmentations ought to make it much more alluring. Like the firmly related Kia Telluride, the Palisade gives an abundance of inside space for up to 8 travelers. It's likewise comparably simple to drive and gets you a great deal of highlights for the cash, while separating itself with a more extravagant style and character. The Palisade's milder suspension tuning exchanges some taking care of certainty for solace when contrasted with the Telluride, however not to the degree that it very well may be a game changer between the two. Number 8. The Lexus LX 600. The 2022 Lexus LX 600 is all new and more extravagant than any other time in recent memory, yet stays consistent with its foundations with serious rough terrain capacities, worked-on driving elements, another infotainment framework, and better mileage assist with cleaning its certifications. The Lexus LX is a 7-seater vehicle that comes in 5 trim levels. The most well-known style is the LX 600F Game all-wheel drive, what begins at $102,345 and accompanies a 3.5-liter V6 twin-supermotor and 4-wheel drive. The first all-new Lexus LX in quite a while debuts for 2022. The enormous SUV is as yet in view of Toyota's amazing area cruiser, however gets significant updates, including overhauled security and driver help advancements, the most recent Lexus infotainment framework, and leader-level extravagance highlights. Controlled by another 409-torque twin-super V6, the Lexus LX 600 now comes in 5 varieties, including AF Gamer Edition with power outage trim and firmer suspension, as well as another 4-Traveler Ultra Extravagance trim with chief-level leaning back and rubbing back seats. 7. Jeep Wagoneer. The renewed introduction of the Jeep Wagoneer brought back a celebrated nameplate and added a skilled 3-column SUV to the Jeep setup. It is seating for up to 8, with a sumptuous inside and great freight room, yet it doesn't come modest. The Jeep Wagoneer is an 8-seater vehicle that comes in 4 trim levels. The most well-known style is the Series 1 all-wheel drive, what begins at $63,995 and accompanies a 5.7-liter V8 motor and all-wheel drive. The Jeep Wagoneer got back to the setup, keep going year after a long non-attendance, to radiate street devotees another 3-column choice. It seats up to 8 individuals in an extensive and exceptionally lavish inside with standard highlights, including Napa calfskin and a 10.1-inch infotainment touchscreen. There's another twin-turbocharged 6-chamber motor in the engine with a lot of ability to get this enormous SUV up to throughway speeds. To bring your extravagance SUV into the soil and sludge, then the Wagoneer is prepared for the experience with 3 distinct all-wheel drive frameworks. This year, another long wheelbase variation gives significantly more space to everybody and everything. Wagoneer rivals incorporate the ported Endeavor, which has more trims and a lower beginning cost, yet isn't as rich. Chevrolet Rural. The Chevrolet Rural is a 3-line SUV that seats up to 9 with a lot of space for freight with a high tow rating. It's an extraordinary decision for enormous families, however its huge aspects can make it intense to oversee on limited or blocked city roads. The Chevrolet Rural is a 7-seater vehicle that comes in 6 trim levels. The most famous style is the Z71 all-wheel drive. what begins at $68,895 and accompanies a 5.3-liter V8 motor and four-wheel drive. Huge families who need an overflow of seating will track down the Chevrolet Rural, a decent choice. It likewise has a lot of space for freight and a most extreme tow rating of up to 8,300 pounds, making it ideal for entertainment-only outings to the lake or campsite. There's a wide setup of trim levels accessible with a few motor choices, including a super diesel for ideal towing. All rural models get a 10.2-inch infotainment screen with remote cell phone network and voice help. Standard well-being components incorporate programmed crisis slowing down and path-keeping help, and this year purchasers can add GM Super Journey driver help innovation on upper trim levels. Hello folks, I can see you partake in my recordings, so if it's not too much trouble, leave a like and buy in on the off chance that you haven't made it happen yet. That will truly urge me to continue to make new recordings for you. Many thanks for your help. Number 5. Cadillac Escalade. The Cadillac Escalade intrigues with intense styling, loads of towing power, and a lavish, enormous lodge. Other than a parched motor and somewhat less esteemed identification, contrasted with a portion of its rivals, the Escalade is a great standard-size extravagance SUV. The Cadillac Escalade is a 7-seater vehicle that comes in 5 trim levels. The most famous style is the exceptional extravagance all-wheel drive, what begins at $92,990 and accompanies a 6.2-liter V8 motor and four-wheel drive. Since its presentation over quite a while back, the Cadillac Escalade has secured itself as the one to pick on the off chance that you like your SUVs reckless, strong, and dribbling with extravagance. The ongoing model mirrors that recipe, catching consideration with its etched, rakish outside and a select lodge loaded with innovation. This Cadillac likewise conveys large awards in down-to-earth regions. For instance, it is quite possibly of the roomiest third column in its group, and it tows more than adversaries like the BMW X7. Furthermore, it has more freight space than the Lincoln Guide. The Escalade accompanies a standard V8. It's intense, however the compromise is the unfortunate mileage. A more productive turbo-diesel power plant is a choice. Generally, assuming you are searching for an extravagance SUV that is roomy, sleek, and sufficiently strong to tow weighty burdens, the Escalade will probably fulfill. Number 4. Lincoln Pilot. Calm, agreeable, and able, the Lincoln Pilot satisfies its regular presence and huge cost. The Lincoln Pilot is a 7-seater vehicle that comes in 3 trim levels. The most famous style is the Hold all-wheel drive, what begins at $96,530 and accompanies a 3.5-liter V6 twin supermotor and four-wheel drive. SUVs don't exactly come a lot greater, more agreeable, and more able than the 2023 Lincoln Pilot. Shrouded in chrome and pressing above and beyond 400 drive, the enormous NA6 is Lincoln's biggest, generally strong, and generally costly model. It's likewise one of our number 1 standard-size extravagance SUVs. 2 sizes are accessible, the Standard Guide and the supersized Pilot L, which offers more freight space behind its third-column seat. The Lincoln can situate up to 8 travelers, and its lodge is superbly liberal with top-notch materials and Epicurean elements, for example, rubbing seats. A smooth and refined twin Super V6 produces 440 drive, which is great and bounty. With 3 lines of seating, a smooth ride, and a lot of force, the BMW X7 is one of the most mind-blowing extravagance SUVs in its group. A few opponents offer more space and better taking care of, however not many set up everything as well as BMW's biggest family vehicle. The BMW X7 is a 7-seater vehicle that comes in 3 levels. The most famous style is the xDrive 40i, what begins at $78,845 and accompanies a 3-liter i6 supermotor and all-wheel drive. Sitting at the highest point of BMW's broad scope of SUVs, the X7 has been given an invigorate this year that incorporates reconsidered outside styling, all the more impressive motors, extra standard highlights, and new lodge innovation. The X7 is a tremendous interstate cruiser because of a consistent suspension that smooths out even the harshest streets and a drivetrain that conveys easy speed increase at any speed. The base model X7 flaunts 5 extra-speed manual transmission over last year's model, while the Elite Exhibition XB7 currently finishes out at 631 horsepower. In spite of the fact that it's a major vehicle, the X7 is not difficult to move with light, exact directing, and fantastic outward perceivability. All-wheel drive is standard, yet it has restricted rough terrain abilities. From the very much formed seats to the vibe of the buttons and handles, there are no indications of holding back. What's more, there are various ways of advancing redesign the inside with numerous upholstery tones and wood trim choices. All X7s currently include an all-computerized 12.3-inch instrument board and a 14.9-inch focal presentation screen with a simple-to-utilize point of interaction that is both reasonable and stunningly skilled. Traveler space in the subsequent line is satisfactory yet distant from class driving, while the third-column seats are probably the most unextensive in the class. Kids won't care about them, however a few contenders offer third-column seating that is reasonable for grown-ups. It's a comparable story with regards to freight. Number 2. GMC Yukon. An exemplary truck-based SUV, the GMC Yukon obliges a huge family and their staff with a tranquil, agreeable ride. Its old-fashioned V8 motors convey the ability to pull enormous trailers and take weighty burdens. The GMC Yukon is a 8-seater vehicle that comes in 5 trim levels. The most famous style is the XL Denali all-wheel drive, what begins at $81,900 and accompanies a 6.2-liter V8 and all-wheel drive. It's an obvious fact that precisely, the GMC Yukon is a close twin of the Chevrolet Tahoe. Be that as it may, GMC has endeavored to give the Yukon a few special elements, and the freshest is the select Yukon Denali Extreme trim. It has extraordinary stuff all around, and it offers the accessibility of Super Voyage without hands-driving help innovation. An amazing family vehicle, the standard Yukon and the more Yukon XL deal a lot of room for travelers, including third-line seating that won't squeeze grown-ups. What's more, the freight region is emphatically monstrous, working with excursions and setting up camp getaways. All-wheel drive is broadly accessible. The rough terrain situated at 4 trim has various elements that further develop its off-road abilities. While contenders like the Portage Endeavor, Lincoln Pilot, and all-new 2023 Toyota Sequoia have gone to turbocharged motors and cross-breed tech, the Yukon sticks with customary V8 motors and ordinary program transmissions. The Yukon Super Diesel is its eco-friendly powertrain choice. 1. Nissan Fleet. A major, extravagant SUV with a lot of room, solace, and power, the Nissan Fleet is an incredible decision for dynamic families. The Nissan Fleet is a 8-seater vehicle that comes in 4 trim levels. The most famous style is the 4x4 Platinum, what begins at $71,415 and accompanies a 5.6-liter V8 motor and 4-wheel drive. The Nissan Naval Force is the brand's biggest, generally strong, and most costly SUV. A champion in the regular SUV section, the Fleet elements more standard strength than the Chevrolet Tahoe, GMC Yukon, and Portage Endeavor. Under its gigantic hood is a refined 5.6-liter V8 delivering a noteworthy 400 pull. That is enough for the Fleet to advance from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 6 seconds, which is very fast, particularly for a 8-traveler SUV that weighs around 6,000 pounds. The Naval Force's ride is smooth in any event, when it's outfitted with 22-inch wheels, and it's shockingly simple to stop regardless of its size. Its taking care of isn't quite so energetic as others in the class, however it is steady and simple to drive. While Nissan's third line isn't quite so large as its opponents, nobody will grumble about the first or second column seats, which are roomy and agreeable. The inside is likewise calm and appealing, with loads of standard conveniences. Anyway, which of these SUVs did you like best and why?